Seekers of the truth, welcome back to a live edition of Power and Glory, the podcast. It has been a long time, but the man is back. The WCW and WWE legend himself, the greatest member of the Four Horsemen, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Pretty Paul Roma.
Thank you, sir. I really appreciate you. And we're going to have a great time this show. I just know we are.
We are going to have a fantastic time because we're joined by my co-star, one of my co-stars over on the Masterclass, ladies and gentlemen. He is the Fixer himself, former NXT Tag Team Champion, Mr. Martin Stone.
How are you, sir? How you doing, Paul?
Great to have you on the show, Martin.
Oh, thank you so much, sir. I really appreciate it. Amir,
thanks for coming out.
How are you?
I'm doing fantastic, but we got to give a shout out to our other co-star, the Brescia Suave, Matthew Jacobs. He had a turn, Paul. So Matthew had chemotherapy last week, and he had a spell last night. He's been rushed back to hospital. He had a reaction to the chemo, so he's back in the hospital. I know he's watching us right now. Matthew will be well again, so your prayers are well received. Please keep him in your prayers as he gets on to his speedy recovery, because he will be back joining us here each and every week on Masterclass. All right, so we want to say that first of all at the gate. But, Paul, so many things have happened since you were last on. The world of wrestling has gone topsy-turvy. It always does, Paul. The latest thing to go down is now we're seeing reports that Shane McMahon, now, again, I can't verify any of these, but that Shane is vying for a general manager position in AEW under Tony Khan. Now, first I got to ask you, Paul, do you even think that a McMahon would lower themselves to work for Tony Khan? Do you think it's even a possibility?
Yeah, I think hands down. He wants to take over, show his father what he could do. Now, I have two thoughts on it. To show his father that he could run a big company like AEW, but on the flip side, there's always that Trojan horse.
Yeah, that's very true. Going in there to infiltrate. What do you think, Martin? Here, do you think?
Okay, so I don't think he's going to go in there as a Trojan horse. I think. Okay, so let's say in the whole open wide world, this is going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
So Vince always pushed Shane aside.
Yeah.
Always put, again, everything that's come out, and again, I don't know this personally, this is just everything that's come out. Vince always pushed him aside. So Shane at one point in time said, Dad, you should buy Pride FC.
Okay.
And Pride FC was one of the biggest mixed martial arts organizations in the world. It hit rock bottom. Shane said, hey, Dad, you should buy this. No, we're good.
Mm-hmm.
Vince now has signed into TKO and UFC and got into bed with Dana White. So now it's all part of a mixed martial arts promotion,
Yeah.
But Shane was, no, we're not doing that. Shane was one of the first guys to invest in streaming. Okay. And said, hey, Dad, we should get into streaming. This would be good. No, we're good. 6 months later, WWE Network pops up on its own streaming thing. And then, so if Shane McMahon turns up on AEW, I would think, one, it's a shot at his dad. Two, I think it would be amazing for wrestling. Just my...
I agree, but obviously, Paul, you were there when Shane was little, right? So you remember seeing Shane backstage. Did he always have a good relationship?
We can just go, again. So
did he have a good relationship with his father, with Vince, from what you saw?
He had a great relationship with Power and Glory.
Yeah, Shane did. Yeah, Shane did. Yeah,
legit.
We're the best tag team in the world. Yeah, look at you guys.
Listen, I really appreciate that. But Shane said to Hercules and myself one day, he said, listen, you guys will always have a job with me. We're like, wow, we're taken back. Great, nice news, right? Because you figure this kid's going to take over the family business, right?
Yeah.
Which never happened.
No.
Again, I still have to hang on to something, which is blood is thicker than water.
That's true.
I can't let that go. Vince is such a manipulator.
Mm-hmm.
He will manipulate his son
Mm-hmm.
to bury a company so that his company can stay on top. However, now
Mm-hmm.
go back to something. WWE is not say by Vince anymore. Say that. So anything is possible. Shane may be, again, reading the tea leaves and said, you know what, I'm going to become a big part of AEW.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got to cut a good deal though with Khan.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's not going to work because Khan could drop him at any time once he picks Shane's brain, and Shane does his thing and gets things up and running.
Not just that, Paul, the fact that Tony Khan, so we've heard so much in the trades, that he doesn't like to relinquish control. He likes to book action figures into matches. And as he's famously stated, he's been booking wrestling matches since he was a child with his little backpack. So I don't know if he would.
Listen, Martin, that's all well and good, right? It's all well and good. The problem is, like we've said this, if not 20 times already. Tony Khan does not have a clue about ring psychology and storylines.
No.
He needs somebody. Listen, bring somebody in and take the credit for it, Tony.
Yeah.
Is that what most companies do, right? It's, here I am, the president of, some major company. I bring in people that are really smart and I surround myself with them. And then stocks go through the ceiling. I reap the rewards and I take the credit.
Yep. Mm-hmm. Hey, Paul, it happens in Hollywood all the time. These carpetbagger agents, they grab people's ideas, they package them off with somebody else, and you never knew who really came up with it. It's kind of like Stranger Things. Paul, I know you were watching a little bit of Stranger Things. So the latest that came out on that is people are now saying they don't think that the finale was written by the Duffer Brothers. They think that the whole series was developed by his wife, whom he divorced right before that finale.
Really?
Yes, but I also believe that it's true because you can tell the difference of the writing. But anyway, I don't want to get off on a tangent because I don't know if we've got any Stranger Things fans here. But nonetheless.
Well, I watched the first 3 episodes of them and I tuned out. I was like, no, I'm good.
Yeah. Well,
listen, I don't think there's anything stranger than professional wrestling, so.
That's true. And
definitely
that's
not.
true.
Yeah.
Definitely not. And definitely not that episode of Raw. But I tell you what, Paul, things are amping up. We know that WWE is going to be sold to the Saudis. It's looking more and more evident by the day. They just signed a Saudi wrestler. They put out a little promo package for him, hyping him up, probably to be the next best thing to Brock Lesnar. They built a stadium, Paul, specifically for WWE in Saudi Arabia. Can you believe that? They built a whole stadium.
Look at the money they got. They
in like 10 days.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Super.
10
probably had
days.
quick dry cement.
Yep. I'm surprised. It's even set up right now for the Royal Rumble because, Paul, it's Royal Rumble this weekend. We didn't even know. The hype has been next to nothing. They've hardly hyped it at all. There's nothing
about it.
What's that?
Nothing about it.
Yeah, it hasn't been hyped up at all. People are saying obviously a bunch of legends are going to come back. They're expected to because in Saudi they want a lot of legends. Chris Jericho. I think we talked about this a few weeks ago. Chris Jericho, he hasn't been seen on AEW, so it looks like he's going to be appearing there. But recently as well, there was news that the Saudis want The Rock. And then speaking of The Rock, Martin, do you happen to be wearing a Dwayne T-shirt I see right there or a sweater? Are you a Dwayne fan?
No. It's a comfy track jacket, but no, I don't.
Right. Well, nonetheless.
Hey, listen, Martin. Listen, I'm a supporter of Dwayne Johnson. He was always respectful to me when I met him. Super nice guy. I've always wished him the best. Same thing with Steve Austin. I've always wished Steve the best.
Great.
So it's, again, unless somebody does something to rub me the wrong way, I'm behind him. I like to tell them, hey guys, I'm your biggest fan.
Yeah.
Because they've succeeded.
Yeah.
In life, regardless of how they did it. They put their nose to the grindstone, and good for them. God bless them.
Yeah. Now, again, as much as Amir is castrating my genitalia right now, again, Rock, Austin, they were a part of my time period, along with along with yourself and the Four Horsemen, the Radicals and Chris Benoit. Sorry, excuse me.
Yeah,
that was the whole reason I got into pro wrestling, and I wanted to become a pro wrestler. So,
and you did. You succeeded.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that. I really appreciate that.
No, I mean that's big. How many? Listen, I have a professional wrestling school. One of my guys just signed with WWE.
That's fantastic. That's
another
awesome.
One's been asked to come
Good for
down.
them. That's great.
Yeah, and that's all. I've always told them this. All I want for all of you. It's not going to be all of you, but I don't know which ones it's going to be. But all I want is for you to have that feeling that I had in front of, from 20 to 30 to 70,000 people. I just want you to have that feeling.
Yep.
Yeah. It's a good feeling. I gotta bring up on the screen because Matthew has texted us. He's texted us from the hospital right here, the Brescia Suave. So he goes, "I'm here, boys. Sorry, I'm on the phone. I don't have my laptop. I miss you guys. Hey, Roma, Martin, you're hired even when I'm back." Oh, he says you're hired, by the way, Martin. So there you go.
Brescia Suave.
So he says, "Tell Roma it's okay. It comes from me." Okay. So he's Matthew again. I hope you're enjoying this. You're getting well up there. Speaking of Matthew, I want to talk about something. Pivot now. So, Paul, did you happen to catch the WWE Unreal series on Netflix? Have you seen any of it? Okay. Martin, have you?
I won't watch it. So.
Okay. Well, we know what Unreal is. You know what it is, right, Paul?
I have no idea.
Okay. So they did a whole series where they take you behind the scenes. So let's just say they're shooting SummerSlam. So this is
business.
Exposing everything that they do, right? So they take you backstage. They're showing you my Uncle Paul, telling people what to do, chastising people. They're bringing you into creative meetings about the storylines and whatnot. So
WWE bringing you in.
Yeah.
Yes.
So they expose everything.
Yeah.
They're probably going to dump the company.
That's what we were saying, right? Saudi. Yeah. That's what it's looking like, right, Paul?
They're trying to, but you know what? They won't kill it.
No.
They won't kill it. People enjoy wrestling.
And it makes too much money. Yeah.
A lot of money, yes. But think about this. They're going to walk away. The owners of the WWE are going to walk away with
what was that, Paul? Because you broke out.
The WWE, the owners, the people on the board, however you want to say it, they're going to walk away with billions.
Yeah.
They don't have to worry about, money, or their kids don't have to worry about money, or their kids, just how it is.
Yeah. Exactly.
They may even turn around and don't put it past them that they don't turn around and open up a new organization, because that's not too hard to do when you got billions of dollars.
That's very, very true. I mean, it does. It looks like a systematic, like I'm washing my hands of this because, Brescia Suave, Matthew and I were talking this morning while he was in hospital. And as we were talking about, well, who really did expose the business in the first place? And I'm going to pose this question to the two of you, right? Paul, who in your mind really first exposed wrestling? Who was it who really, globally?
That's a Mario Mancini question.
Okay. Well, he may be joining us.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a Mario Mancini question. Not taking anything away from Martin or anybody.
No, please.
But he's up on that, and who really exposed the business?
Mm-hmm.
Wow, that's tough. I mean, you got to look at all the guys that they pissed off.
Okay, all right, Mark.
Wow. I know I did.
I know, but Paul, who did it? Who did it? Okay, Martin, I'm going to kick it to you. I'm going to see if you guys can connect all this together. Martin, who exposed the business?
Okay, I might seem really naive, but from when I started training, from when I started watching wrestling as a fan, all the way up to when I took a break, came back in, got to wrestling school, I never remembered anyone saying, this is what. I never remember that.
Paul? Okay.
Came to me. McMahon.
Vince McMahon?
McMahon exposed the business. And I'm going to tell you when it started. Because, first of all, Vince did not want to pay. Once he made it, he took it away from being a sport and made it sports entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He didn't want to pay, like Pennsylvania. He had to pay, X amount, hundreds of thousands of dollars, because that's what they wanted.
Yeah.
We had to have licenses to wrestle. Now he flips it and says, "Oh, it's sports entertainment. It's not real. It's fake."
Yeah.
I would say he was the first to expose it. And then everybody else jumped on the bandwagon after he started screwing people over big time. And they came out. See, here's the thing about Vince. When I started, which was eons ago, there was an unwritten rule. You get out of wrestling, you keep your mouth shut, because they call you up and bring you back.
Yep.
That was what they kept over every wrestler's head. If you talk to Tony Atlas today, he's sitting by the phone.
Yeah.
For that phone to ring, because he still thinks they're going to call him up and bring him in and run an angle with him.
Yeah.
I'm being very serious. You could ask Mario Mancini about this.
Yeah.
There are guys out there that truly believe that they're going to get the phone call.
Yeah.
And they're not getting the phone call.
No. Yeah.
No. Yeah.
That was what they hung their hat on, and everybody that left, or still there, wouldn't say boo, because, hey, they might bring me back. Oh, they're going to give me a shot. They'll give me a push. Oh, they're going to bring me in for this. No, they're going to bring me in for that. No, they're not. They're not bringing you in for anything. They fired you, or you left for whatever reason. You had your disagreement with them, and that was the end of it.
Yeah. Yeah.
These guys, they're so full of shit.
Yeah.
They built up so much horse shit in everybody's minds. I was there. I experienced it.
Yeah.
You were there. I don't know how prevalent it was then, but it was brutal.
Oh, yeah.
During my run, I mean, in Mario's run, it was absolutely brutal. Everything was taboo. Oh, don't say this. Oh, you can't say that. Oh, kayfabe, man, kayfabe. Oh,
nothing changed. Nothing changed. Yeah.
They exposed it.
Yeah.
The whole thing. Here they want us to keep quiet. Here they want us to keep kayfabe. And the owner of WWE, Vince McMahon, exposes the business.
Yeah. I mean, that's an interesting take on that, Paul, and I think you hit the nail on the head there. By the way, if you're watching this channel, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. What are you waiting for? Powerplex it now, the greatest finishing move for a tag team of all time, Paul Roma and Hercules. Powerplex that subscribe button, hit the like, share it with your friends and family. And hey, if you want to ask a question, load up the super chats. That's what they're there for. Use them if you want to get involved.
Ask Martin questions. Come on, people, wake up.
Come on. Again, ask your questions. Don't be a coward. Get out of the shadows and step into the spotlight. Also, join and become a channel member for just the price of a cup of coffee, $4.99 a month. That'll give you a free question and a free shout every single video. In fact, we're going to give a shout out on this episode to one of our loyal members in a little bit. But coming back to exposing the business, so here's the kicker, right? So WWE Unreal is very heavily focused on who? My Uncle Paul. Triple H, dear Uncle Paul. Well, think about it. 1996, Madison Square Garden. Who was it who came to the ring and really exposed the bit. It was Hunter Hearst Helmsley, who was a heel, and he came to the ring and he shook hands with Razor Ramon, who was a face, Shawn Michaels, who was a face, and he celebrated in the middle of the ring with Big Daddy Cool Diesel, Kevin Nash. And that now, Matthew Bodacious Suave was arguing with me that was a house show, but that's Madison Square Garden. There are thousands of people in there. So it was Hunter.
The Garden is on TV, though.
And there were people with flashbulb cameras back then, so they would have caught it.
Right, but I wrestled in the Garden. Depending on what match I was, get in my car and race home. Watch the last 1 or 2 matches on TV.
Yep.
People are going to see it.
Yeah.
Yep. It's out there, but the point I was trying to make is because everyone's saying that how Triple H is front, like who's responsible for Unreal? Because you got wrestlers saying they don't agree with it, like Paul Heyman.
And Shawn.
Right, because Shawn and Uncle Paul didn't give a shit back in 1996, right? Right? They didn't. No, but seriously, Paul, they didn't. That's what got in the magazines back in 96 was that particular moment.
Yeah.
Well, you could say so you could say
yeah.
So you could say all this traces back to 1996. It is Hunter. It is my Uncle Paul who truly took it to the next level and exposed the business. That's why.
I mean, let's be real. At that point in time, what was Hunter doing? Nothing. Shawn, Razor, and Diesel were top of the cards.
Yeah.
So let's be straight. Hunter wasn't doing anything.
Paul, I got to ask.
Involved in that angle.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that's the click. That.
Yeah.
But Paul, I got to ask you a question though, Paul, because you were just barely out of WCW at that time. Thankfully, you gave Alex Wright the ass kicking he deserved. But shortly after that, after you left, right, what did you think of that?
European, come on. As much as Paul was amazing.
What are you talking about, Martin? What did you say?
I said he's a fellow European. As much as Mr. Roma is absolutely amazing, technician in the ring. Come on.
It doesn't matter. Alex Wright was a little twerp, and I'm thankful that Paul kicked his ass. So anyway, but so Paul, what did you think when you heard about all that when Hunter came out? Did it bother you being from that generation that they did that?
Well, I did some shoot videos, and it was the thing I had a problem with. Okay, when you're writing yourself into all the main shows, right? You have a Mania, you have a SummerSlam. You're not on the ticket, and all of a sudden here you come down on a motorcycle, right? And you have Stephanie on the back. You're because you have the power of the pencil. You're writing yourself in.
Yeah.
Nobody asked for you. You forced yourself on them. Mm-hmm. Just how it is and how it was. Now you want to build yourself up in an angle, okay, do that, and that's great. But my big thing was, how do you come out of nowhere and just insert yourself into the show?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But he had the power to do that, right?
Yeah.
He had the power of the pencil. I mean, you're the owner's son-in-law.
Yeah, he does have the power.
Yeah, and I heard that Stephanie was tough. I heard she was tough.
I'm sure she is.
She was just a little thing, but she grew up quick.
Yeah, I'm sure she is. Hey, Paul, one of our channel members said a nice comment about you. I want to bring it up on the screen. Paul Roma, best drop kick in the biz, Hall of Fame, way overdue. Right there from Mike Blakesley. Right there.
Well, thank you, Mike. I appreciate it. And you know what? I do believe that I had the highest drop kick since I drop kicked Big John Studd and hit him off the forehead with one of my feet. I don't think anybody ever got up that high, and to this day. And again, to my own horn, we had the best power and Corey had the best finishing move of anybody.
By far.
You did.
Yep.
You did. No one has ever been able to duplicate that. Of course, we saw last year Mr. Street Fighter 2, Guile himself, Cody Rhodes, and was it the corporate man, CM Punk? Was it him, Martin? Correct me if I'm wrong. Who was he teaming with when they tried to do the Powerplex?
I don't remember because I haven't watched it. So The closest guys I've ever seen to being able to replicate your finish is FTR, which is Dax Harwood and I forget his name. And I feel terrible saying that. Two guys that are on AEW, and they do your finish very proud, sir.
Okay. So what you're saying, Martin, is these two actually use the Powerplex as their finishing move? Is this what you're saying?
Yes, they do. Yeah.
Okay, Paul, I'm going to submit a letter to you for Tony Khan's office for copyright infringement, and here we go. Here comes another one at you, Tony, right there. So, but speaking of AEW, now I saw Martin. You sent me something, just a little snippet. You were perusing the channels last night, and you happened to stumble upon AEW. What was that move? What happened last night? Because you sent me this move, Paul. It was a pile driver, right? And then what happened after that, Martin? The guy didn't sell this pile driver, Paul. Go ahead, Martin. Take the floor here.
So it ended up being So the guy had his arms hooked, pile driver. The guy nipped up
immediately
out of the bounce, and then hit a super kick.
No
Paul,
kidding.
What is that shit, Paul?
And again,
I
want AEW to succeed. I want them to be the next WCW. So there's massive competition. So
which is healthy.
Yeah.
But just I saw that and I was like, oh.
Well, because you know what? Here's the thing. They're not. How can I say?
And it was such a good match up to that point. It was good. Yeah. Like they started with wrestling, that they told a story, and then they did that, and I'm like, oh,
kill the whole thing.
Yeah.
There's nobody watching, that has any what's this, any stature.
Mm-hmm.
You should have somebody like Vince always had, watching the matches, telling you, this, that, and the other thing, what you shouldn't do. And they don't have that apparently, because even during their promos, they don't have anybody watching what they're saying.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. Well,
there's mayhem.
And as much as we're saying it's AEW, I still think it's WWE as well, even though you've got all those like legends that have been there for 20, 30, 40 years. I'm just like, no, I'm good. I still feel like it feels like that. No one cares about the product anymore.
Well, here, if they cared, if these guys that they have now, so let's say they're number one, they're 1 through 10, they're top 10 guys. If they really thought they were that good and they would bring it in $1, they don't have to bring back Brock Lesnar. They don't have to bring back The Rock. They don't have to bring these guys back and create more of a, following, so to speak, that where people are going to say, oh, he's coming back. This guy's coming back. This guy's going. Why did you have to bring in when Hogan was promoting his beer and he walked out there with Jimmy Hart? Why? No. Why did and it flopped. It totally flopped. They booed the hell out of him.
Oh, that was rough.
And he tried to blame it on Jimmy Hart. Yeah, nobody's booing the American flag that Jimmy Hart is holding. No. Hogan never wanted to face reality. Reality was he kicked out of everybody's finishes because he had to.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Everybody's finishes because he had to. Don't get me started on Hogan. I got nothing good to say about him.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to leave it right there.
Okay. All right. Perfect. Yeah. Well, switching gears to talking about TV as well. So TNA, total nonstop assholes, as I've referred to them as, because I was very vocal, Paul, about their usury tactics, about how they use extras to do things that wrestlers aren't supposed to do. Mm-hmm. And they do free labor, which is, again, not what AEW and WWE do. God bless them for that. But they switched channels. They went from Access TV, which basically sounds like public access TV, for lack of a better term, to AMC, the old American. It was like a movie channel, right, Paul? AMC, which I never understood why the hell you'd put wrestling on a movie channel. Well, anyway, but by the by. They premiered last week to 173 global worldwide views. That's all they got, Paul. 173,000. And then their second episode this week drew 171,000. They dropped 2,000 viewers in 1 week.
Oh,
that's not good.
And but what's even worse? What's that?
Who's running the show?
Well, they are being babysat. They are being babysat right now by WWE. So WWE have them in some kind of deal, which is probably why they got the AMC deal, because they couldn't negotiate their way on TV without them.
1,000.
So they're basically like an NXT Mach 2. But they're saying, but some people are buying into this misconception, Paul, that they're competition, that they could be the number 2 company, but yet WWE are babysitting them. This is the weird crap that's going on right now, Paul. 171,000. Paul, if you were running that network, what would you say to him right now?
You're wasting your money.
Exactly.
Look, here's something. If you have the number 1 company, for argument, let's just say argument's sake, you have the number 1 company. Now you bring in another, you set up another company, but it's still yours, right? It's predominantly what WWE is doing. Then you set up a third company, and you try to rule out and get at the time it was WCW, but you want to get AEW out of the picture. So how do you take AEW? Let's say AEW is number 2. Let's say WWE is number 1. Now you have NXT. Well, you got to get NXT over them, AEW, to drop them to 3rd.
Yeah.
Now you create another one, right? Another account, and you got to get them to drop them to 4th. So out of 4 shows, they're number 4. And all the other shows are 1, 2, and 3, which are all your shows.
Yeah.
Which are all your shows. Yeah. I think that's really what they're trying to do.
Yeah. To monopolize everything.
Yeah.
I mean, this is to somebody, look, don't think for a minute Vince still isn't involved.
Well, we heard for real he's on his way back. TKO want him back. Yeah.
Right. And there's a reason why I believe that young lady isn't opening her mouth, and she took a nice big payoff. Because she'll expose that he's there and he's still playing his games with the females.
Wow.
Okay, which he shouldn't be, but again, he's going to do what he wants. But to him, this is like Germany and the United States and France and in a monster war. To Vince, he's conquering the world. When he can be 1st, 2nd, and 3rd out of 4 players, and 3 of his players are him. So what show that he could keep bringing up shows and make them successful.
So what could be an actual possibility then is when the WWE library is sold to the Saudis, which is looking highly likely, unlikely that's going to happen. I mean, everything indicates that, ladies and gentlemen. Perhaps then they own TNA. And because they've established and built that brand here in the U.S., it's not part of WWE. They just move their entire team over to TNA, and they just run that moving forward. Maybe that's the direction.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, why not? You're making a shell company of your own.
Yeah.
And when the Saudis get the WWE, what did they really buy, to be honest with you? What did they buy exactly?
The video library.
Yeah.
Right. But they're not how can I say this? They're not buying the wrestlers. They're not running the WWE organization.
Right.
Right? So that's great. So you're a writer, Martin, you're a writer. You wrote a book. Now it's sold, number 1. Great. Now you write another book. Oh, sell that. That went on number 1 bestseller list. Now you write another book. Oh, that's number 1 bestseller list. So they just keep selling them the product.
Yeah.
It's a nonstop money making. I don't want to say scam because it's not, but it's a great business.
Yeah.
Venture.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a great business. I got somebody in the chats here. Sometimes I talk to, sometimes I see these pesky people that pop up in our chats, Paul and Martin.
Yeah.
Of course, as you know, I eject some of these.
Yep.
I eject some of these jabronis here. But there's someone who's stating the complete obvious to me in the chat right now, and I just want to make you aware. Yes, we're fully aware there's a documentary on Netflix. That's exactly what we're talking about. You should have joined us at the top of the hour. You may have learned something there, pal. But nonetheless, Matthew just let me know as well. No news is good news. He's doing all right in the hospital. The doctors just came back in. So
Fantastic.
Good stuff. So he's happy with that. Yeah. But, I think, with TNA, building up TNA, it's a smart move. Very, very smart move. You build up another company. You sell off your main company. You dump that now because the taint. I think the problem is, Paul, Martin, there's too much of a taint on WWE now. It's been tainted. Right? So, you washed your hands.
It's almost like Epstein.
Yeah.
All these people going over to his island knowing what they're doing is just wrong, blatantly wrong.
Yeah.
But they keep doing it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody was getting in bed with Vince knowing that it was wrong. But they just kept doing it.
Yeah.
It's never going to stop. Not until he drops dead. It's never going to stop.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I'd be willing to believe
every single wrestler that gets into the job and trains and travels the world and does the indies, they're always going to go, I need to get there.
Yeah.
No matter what they hear, no matter how bad it is, no matter I've got to get there. I get it. That was me. I completely get it.
Oh no, it's true. The allure, of the bright lights and everything. But it's like when I woke up, when I finally realized that's not the WWF I dreamed about working for. None of the guys that I dreamed about working with and stuff like that, they're not there anymore. It's not the same. It's not the same. It's not when you were there, Paul. When you were there, that was the greatest time in professional wrestling. That was it.
I was so blessed.
Yeah.
To ride that wave.
Yeah. It was the greatest time. So again, now you're looking at a totally different time, and I think you do get drawn in by the spectacle of it, but at what cost? Like we said, a lot of these guys, their whole life gets signed over to them now. The contracts they sign now, Paul, are probably 10 times worse than the contracts you signed back in the day. They own probably your house. They probably own your car. They probably own the shoes you wear, right? So, and no, absolutely not. I got, I do get a lot of jabronis in the chat, Paul. Honestly, I got another one right here. Yeah, no, that's my Uncle Paul, you jabroni. Yeah, exactly. Just so you understand. Man, honestly, Paul, we have to swat them. It's like flies. Every so often we get some flies.
Hey, they're watching though, aren't they?
They do watch because they have a smart mind to watch. That's why they're watching some of these people, these haters here. But nonetheless, they're learning something. They're getting educated by us. So one of the other things that I picked up on was that WWE have just announced. In fact, Martin, you guys sent me this morning, right? If I can pull it up here. Super Bowl Career Fair, the 8th annual. WWE's recruiting NFL legends. Paul, they're recruiting NFL legends to be in the WWE now. Did you know that?
To do what?
What's
Wrestle.
That? To wrestle.
No. Come on.
Oh, no. They are. Yeah.
Yep. They recruited him to wrestle back in the day. Remember William, the refrigerator? What was he? William? Yeah, he was the refrigerator Hayes, right? So, and then Lawrence Taylor, they did the same with LT. But apparently now they want NFL wrestlers. They don't know what they want.
Trick Williams, who's just been called up to SmackDown, is a former NFL player. Bron Breakker is a former NFL player.
Well, at least he got away from the bodybuilders because all they know how to do, is lift weights.
Yeah,
they weren't athletes.
There's not much in it though.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, Paul, did you ever work out with Rick Rude? I got to ask you this. Did you ever work out with Rick Rude?
Not with him in the same gym with him, but not with him.
Okay, because there was this insane video that came out in the WWE Vault where he's literally standing and pressing 3 plates aside on an Olympic bar and cutting a promo at the same time. Did you ever see him do crazy shit like that?
No, listen, those are fake plates.
Oh, they're fake.
Ah, come on.
I was gonna say, man, because they sound and they look pretty damn real.
Why don't you do the math?
I know it's 315, right? 315.
Right.
I don't know, man. They sounded freaking.
Sorry,
What did you see? What did you see him do, Paul? Did you see him do any major lifts?
No, nothing like that. Hercules and I were doing major lifts. You get Hawk was doing major lifts. You get some of the guys like Morocco. You have the Warlord. I mean, these guys are doing major lifts.
Yeah.
For being wrestlers, major lifts. But
excuse me, gentlemen, I'll be back in 2 seconds. Hang on, I need to go to the bathroom. 2 seconds. I'm sorry,
Martin. You could have been a little bit more discreet, Martin.
but you got to think about this. Remember when they were doing, the bench press competition in the WWE?
Yeah.
On camera.
Yeah.
The plates are fake.
You were there to attest to that, right?
I was there.
So Warlord was not benching 5 plates.
Let's put it this way. I've never seen him legit bench 5 plates.
Mm-hmm.
He may have, but for the most part, listen, when you get Dino Bravo and he's supposedly benching 500-600 pounds, whatever it is, they're not real plates.
Okay.
Just not.
So, yeah.
They're just not.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I tell you what, though, but the sheer stature of those guys back then, though, can you imagine now, Paul, if we did get a slew of guys that came in that were as big as Warlord, yourself, the Legion of Doom? I mean, I would think they'd make today's wrestlers look like children.
Most of them today, yeah, they would.
Yeah.
That was one thing I commend Vince on. He liked bodies. He liked guys that were in shape. And what made you different than the people that were watching you was just that. Some kid comes out and he looks and he goes, I want to be like him. Well, son, you better get to the gym if you want to look like him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just one of those things. But now they can look up at these wrestlers and go, oh, I could wrestle. Like, yes, you can. Just keep going to the bar, drinking beers, and you look just like them.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, I mean, there's a few people like this one guy in our chat right now. This hater right here. I'm he begins with a D and an A is his name right now. This is one of the guys you're probably talking about, Paul, who never set foot in the gym. But anyway, nonetheless, it's just. But the WWE going back to that protocol now though. They put out a statement recently, Paul, where they said that they are now only looking for people who can, number one, talk. So you got to be able to talk. What a novel idea. You got to be able to cut a promo now. You got to be able to ad-lib. And number two, you got to look like a wrestler now. So they've changed their whole approach to scouting talent now.
Right. And here's the thing. You don't want all bodybuilders, right? Not everybody's going to have a great body. Let's just get that out in the open. However,
my apologies, gentlemen. I do apologize about that.
No worries.
So, but however, you have to have both sides. You got to have some guys that are like the Nasty Boys that really don't have bodies, but they're tough guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that works. That works. You have the King Kong Bundys of the world, the Earthquakes. So these guys, they're strong men by, I mean, don't get me wrong. And they could hold their own. However, you have to have the other side too, which are the guys with the great bodies, If you have, think about this. If you have women come into the show because they dig these guys' bodies, they're handsome guys, right? They look great. Who's going to go along there with them? Their boyfriends and their husbands. They don't want them going there alone. So you're putting people in the seats. And when you cater to the kids, which they got away from, But when you cater to the kids where you don't have the nudity and the just the garbage that, Vince making people kiss his ass, he's pulling his pants down in the ring and all that other horse shit. When you don't have that, you got kids. Well, kids aren't going there alone. They got to go with their parents.
Yep.
So there's more tickets you're selling. That was always Vince's way of thinking.
Yeah.
But he lost his mind because he thought he was bigger than the game.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, his alleged, I'll throw it out there that way, raping of people and the sexual advances that went on when I was there had to come to a screeching halt.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
The sad part is no one went to jail for it.
Right. And I'm sure there were plenty of other wrestlers who may have been on the roster at the time that likewise engaged in that, Paul. I'm sure of it,
Well, there were some, and the problem was, if they were caught out, it was really hard for them to go into the locker room because, the guys that were straight, that busted their ass, and made it the way they had to make it, they didn't take too kindly to them.
No, of course. I got some people in the chat that keep trying to ask questions. This one guy, his handle begins with H. I guess he's a cheapskate and he doesn't understand. If you hit a super chat, that's the only way you're going to ask a question, Mr. H. Right. Otherwise, you can keep asking away. It will go unaddressed. I think this guy's a cheapskate, Paul. I think that's what it is. He doesn't. Yeah, but anyway, nonetheless, he's not one of our loyal followers. He's just a looky-loo. He's one of those guys. You know those type, Paul. The looky-loos. Yeah, the looky-loos.
Yeah.
One of those. So nothing to worry about there. But Martin, also, I want to come back to a little bit of the kayfabe stuff here because something else you brought up to me about that Unreal series. One of the hottest stars WWE has right now, which is Braun Breaker. Okay.
Yep.
And you sent me that segment. Can you care to elaborate on that? What they're doing on?
So I sent Amir a picture, and it's a great picture. It's Braun Breaker and one of the Uso brothers.
Okay.
And they're obviously in Europe because the plates they're holding, they're posing and oiled up, are in kilos. And I literally said to Amir, I was like, are these guys not feuding now? Or was this not like 2 weeks ago that they hated each other?
And then they put this out there, Paul. Now, it's like Paul, if you were feuding with I don't know whoever back in the day.
And again, it's not me like trying to dump a load on it, but just as a wrestling fan, at my heart, I'm a wrestling fan. I want to be hooked in. I want to feel the spectacle that I did before I even started. I want to feel that, and I'm like, didn't these guys hate each other 2 weeks ago?
Yeah.
Maybe it's the month of love.
It's just like,
come on, Martin. Come on. It's maybe it's the season of love, Martin. Maybe they're all coming together. The Beatles said it right. Yeah. Come together right now.
Yeah, that's right. Yep, that's true.
Okay, yeah. So, like, for me as a fan, the only recollection I have of like your time period was Dynamite Kid's book and Bret Hart's book, but it all kind of linked in as heels didn't ride with baby faces. We turned up to the arena, not traveling, like just
you couldn't eat together, you can't travel together, you can't be seen together. If I was a baby face walking into a hotel, walking into a restaurant, and there's a heel that comes right in or he's in front of me, I have to back off.
Yeah. So like,
it's not like
and
that
again,
anymore.
I'm nothing major, but if I'm if I'm heel or face, if I'm a heel, unless it's a like 5 or 6 year old kid, I'm not signing anything. I am not standing at the merch table. I am not doing a meet and greet. I'm a heel.
Right.
We got one of our loyal members here. I think you're our member, Archie Lee. Yes, you are. He gave us a super chat. He said, "Gentlemen, nothing but the utmost respect." We thank you, Mr. 4 Archie Lee. You know, these are the type of loyal seekers of the truth that we appreciate on this channel. Thank you so much for your support, Archie Lee. You know, we appreciate it. We appreciate you.
Archie.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
And again, I can't comment. I can't say, well, this is right and this is that and that's like I didn't live it, but just like I would have loved to have been in that part in that time period.
Mm-hmm.
But just when I hear guys like if I'm on a show with someone that's like I hate to say back in the day because it makes them
no, it's fine.
But I hate to say that, but someone that's like been there at its peak. I always ask, and they're like, no. And I think that's what's lacking today. It's just, we need clicks on YouTube, or we need clicks on this. Hey, go take this picture. It'll be all like, stop giving away the magic. Like,
well, you know, it's funny you said that. Stop giving away the magic. And if you don't mind, when I'm at my wrestling school this Saturday and when I'm training the guys, I'm going to say that. That's a great line. Stop giving away the magic. Because
I love magicians. I don't want to know how they do their card tricks.
Right. Well, so here's what I tell my students is this. So when they're coming out to the ring, and especially indies, they run around the ring, they slap everybody's hand.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell them, listen, you don't do that here.
No.
You go up the steps into the ring.
Yep.
When you're done wrestling, you want to clap a couple people's hands, they still want to touch your hands, that's great. But when you come out and you go slap all their hands, you satisfied them.
Yep.
They don't need to touch you anymore. They don't want to reach out and touch you. They can care less now.
Not even
so
that.
Much, sir.
Not even that,
so
Paul.
Much.
But to add to that, Paul, okay, believability. You're about to go out into a fight, right? You're going to a fight. A fight. So the last thing you're going to do is going to be high-fiving everybody else before you go out because you're supposed to be in the zone. You're supposed to be focused on your opponent, heel or face. You're focused.
So let's take that to the next level, which is what you're talking about. You come out, and it's not an air of I'm better than you. You are a star.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You're about to do whatever you're about to do. You don't communicate with the people until you are in the ring when they are below you. Mm-hmm. And that's when you're like, hey, help me, come with me. I'm taking you on this journey.
It's true, Paul. I don't know
right on that. Just that's my
process.
Am I right on that, Paul?
You are spot on. You can't get it any cleaner than saying it like that. That is absolutely correct.
And that doesn't mean that like, you're beneath me. I'm not. It's not about that. Just I don't want to appear human right now until we get into the performance of it.
Well, yeah, you're supposed to listen. You're that magical that you're the unicorn. When you come out of that curtain, through that curtain, you're the unicorn. Everybody wants to touch you. Don't satisfy them. Throughout the match, let them, like here. And I told them, I said, when you get thrown out of the ring, everybody reaches over. They just want to put their hands and touch you. I touched them. That's all they care about is they touch you. You're already giving them. You've given that away when you run around the ring and slap everybody's hands.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. So I've always fought with that. But I've always had that thought in my mind. Like, no, we're just wait until we're in there, and then we can get okay. I appreciate that, sir. Thank you. Okay.
We got another super chat here from Mike Blaisley, another one of our dear beloved channel members. He says, "Always believe." The Warrior misunderstood. Paul, I started the Ultimate Warrior podcast now with those who worked with him, and we're really telling the true story of the Ultimate Warrior now. We're going back in time, people who worked with him, his manager, close friends, people that knew him not like what WWE, because you know when they tried to smear him, Paul. Remember when they did that DVD Self-Destruction of the Ultimate Warrior? They basically said that you don't know about that, Paul?
Never saw it.
Wow. Well,
I mean, he made them a lot of money.
A lot of money.
A lot of money. And you can say however he was in ring on his talent based, okay, whatever. Just he was just raw. He made money. He made the money, and they just crapped on him.
The thing is, I think Martin, and again, forgive me if you don't feel the same way, Paul, but I think that you, Paul, were very similar to the Warrior in ways that you went there, you focused, you did your job. You weren't there to gossip. You weren't gossip queens hanging out, trying to impress each other. And you both got literally treated the same way in a roundabout way.
Yeah. So, to the Warrior, his body was his thing.
Yeah.
To me, my body was my money, right? I wasn't 7 feet tall and my body was my money. And Hercules, in the very beginning, before we became friends, family, he didn't understand me either. And I could tell you right now, if there's 100 wrestlers, 98 of them didn't understand me. And I always tell people, I said, listen, I wasn't there to go out and get drunk, go and do drugs. I said, I was there for a reason. And you guys, you condemn me for that. That made me an asshole. That made Paul Romo, he's all stuck up. Why? Because I didn't want to go out and drink with you guys. Because I didn't want to go out and do drugs. Because I wanted to get up and go to the gym.
Yep.
You know what I mean? When guys were going, and I'm no saint, don't get me wrong. But when guys were going, when we were in Georgia, guys were going to the strip bar, and I was going to the 24-hour Gold's Gym.
Yeah.
Because to me, we had TV that day. I couldn't get to the gym. So I went, when I got done with TV, it was like 11 or 12 o'clock at night. We were, by the time I got back to my room and changed and all that, and I went over to the strip club and I walked in. They go, "Oh my God, we can't believe you're here." And I said, "Well, I just want to see if you guys are going to go to the gym." And they looked and they started laughing. They're like, "No." And I said, "Well, I'm going to the gym." They're like, "Well, no, come on, sit down." I'm like, "No, I'm going to the gym. I'm ready." So they took it the way they wanted to take it. You could change your lifestyle if you wanted to. You didn't have to be every day or that dedicated. But that's how it was for me.
Yeah.
So I was the asshole. Right? I was the stuck-up, conceited guy. Why? Because I'm not pounding fried food down my throat. Because I'm not eating Oreo cookies and Milky Ways.
And
right?
fried food. Doing
why can't I do my own thing?
Oh my God!
Right.
Yeah, no, I get
Why
that.
am I being condemned for wanting to be who I am and how I was brought up?
All right.
So, to those guys, and just to throw this out there, I saw that Valentine had cut a video, and I forgot who it was with, and he said, "Oh yeah, that Paul Roma, he's, stuck up. He's an asshole," whatever he said. And Mario Mancini called me up and when he found out that I saw the video, because I sent him a text message, said, "Hey, I saw that Valentine video." That he calls me right away. He goes, "Oh man, who sent that to you? I told him not to send it to you." And I said, "Mario, it's okay." Because he thought I was going to get mad at Greg. And I said, "It's okay, Mario." I said, because he said all these not nice things about me. And when we were in England, I saw him having breakfast, and he invited me to sit down and have breakfast with him. And then I jumped on my phone and I FaceTimed Mario Mancini because, him and Greg are what I consider, they know each other well. They go way back. And I said, "Well, I find it hard to believe that he said all these bad things about me, yet he invited me to have breakfast with him."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I let it go. It's no big deal. I let it roll off, my shoulders. At first, I had to come back.
Mm-hmm.
And then I thought about it and I went, nah, it's not worth it. I'm good.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's the way he
Can
feels.
I
Legit. It's good.
interject right here?
Go ahead,
I
Mark.
love the fact that you just, and again, this is my whole philosophy on wrestling. You turn up, you do your job to the best of your ability, and whatever everybody else wants to think about it.
That's the truth. That's it. You're there.
How I approached that. That's how I approach my entire career. I get booked. I turn up. What's the business of the match? What we doing? Okay, cool.
Yep. Do your job. You're there for the fans. Number one.
Yes, we are there to entertain. Right. We are the circus.
Right. You're there for the fans.
Tightrope walkers, lion tamers, whatever someone's going to get a kick out of what we do, no matter where we are.
We got another super chat from Mike Blaisley. We did have one perverted super chat, which I'm not going to bring up on the screen. So I'm going to avoid that one entirely from one of these individuals here. But now we have a new super chat right here. It's from Mike Blaisley. Paul, when you guys did house shows, say the show starts at 8 p.m., is it true you guys had to be there at 2 p.m.-ish, 6 to 7 hours? Okay.
Not true. We had to be at the show an hour before.
Wow, that close.
An hour. Oh,
wow.
You beat us. Oh.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible because now
unless it was TV. If it was TV, it's pretty much an all-day affair for the most part.
Yeah, okay.
And we wanted to get to TV early, wanted to see what we were doing, where we were at. And it was good to hang out. You're shooting the shit with the boys, right? You're just having a good old time. But we had to be there an hour before.
Yeah.
And don't be late. You better be there an hour before.
Yeah.
They need to know you're there.
Okay, so for me, it was 4 hours before. We had to be there 4 hours before quarter. Yeah.
Listen, not unless I fell on my head too many times. No, it was an hour. I have fallen on my head too many times, but I still.
Yeah. So if the show started at 8 p.m., we'd be there by latest 4. So.
Yeah.
Did you guys do double shots on the weekends?
No, we never did.
Yeah.
I wish.
We would do a 1 o'clock show. So Saturday would come. We do a 1 o'clock show, let's say in Chicago.
Yep.
And then we'd have an 8 o'clock show in Milwaukee.
Yep. I hate to say this. From when I got signed, I was working less than when I was on the Indies.
Wow.
Yeah, I worked less.
Well, it's good and it's bad. So it's good because your body's not getting worn out, but it's bad because you're not getting the exposure.
Yeah. And again, sir, I don't do anything crazy. So my body can take a lot. I never did anything stupid. I never came off the top rope. Just I tried to do the best I could with what I had. Not super athletic. I was one of those guys that, oh, wow, he's going to kick the crap out of you. It's going to be awesome. I bumped and sold.
Yeah, but you got it done, right? I mean, you got it done.
So I just made it look as good as I could. But once when I officially signed in 2018 and I started on their shows, within 2 months, I was working maybe 10 dates a month less.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They work 23 a month.
Yeah, I mean, and I never worked as much as you guys, but again, being a fan and coming up, and I was like, wow, these guys were always working. They were on the road like 300 days a year. And again, that's not the best schedule in the world. I'm sure you're just like, wow, really, kid? I could have done with a day off every now and then. But just for me, when I came up, I was like, I need to work that schedule. I need to be as busy as possible. And just with, I was trained by Mr. Regal, and he always said to me, be as busy as you can. So I took that on board and I got to NXT and I'm like, oh, you've got 6 shows this month. I was like, wait, what? 6? I was like, Oh, okay. Like it kind of blew my mind. Like I understand why, because they're trying to save those guys' bodies. But when you're in the thick of it and you want to actually be a professional wrestler and travel and hey, we're going to do this and do that, just it was you got 6 shows. I was like, huh? Like, wait, what? I guess like, yeah.
Hey, I see some people asking.
Doing those 6 shows, I got paid way more, but it was never about that. It was about the hustle and hey, I'm in Minnesota tonight, and tomorrow night I'm in Poughkeepsie, and the next night I'm in Boston. Like, just it was to me, that was why I got into wrestling, like being a traveling wrestler. That was my thing, and just so.
Paul, one of our channel members here wants to know if you've got any special Rick Rude stories that you could share. This is a channel member, so he's very valued. And this guy, Paul, this guy's name is Muhammad, this channel member. He's also helping Martin and I. He writes us a review each week.
God bless you, Muhammad. Yep. What a good dude he is.
All right, I'm gonna give you one. So Rick Rude, when he went in the ring, he swiveled his hips and he give the lady a kiss, right? They bring a woman in, and they give her a kiss. Well, they did the same thing this night. They're going to do the same thing. However, Rick Rude's wife was there. Oh, yeah. And when Rick Rude went to give her the kiss, she locked horns with him and basically stuck her tongue in his mouth. And that was one of the things that they thought was funny, right? Destroy your marriage. They thought that was funny because I believe it did destroy his marriage. But yeah, that was one of the Rick Rude stories. I'll never forget that one. I was like, my God, how could they do this to that poor guy?
No,
but they did it.
That's not good, man.
And the boys lost their minds there laughing so hard because they knew his wife was there.
No, that's bad, man. You can't do that. I want to give a shout out right now. Again, we got another super chat. This is from my man Deshaun, Compton Mania. One of the greatest promotions in Southern California. Martin, you recognizing the name right here?
Yes, I am. Yeah.
This is my man. The Master Amir is the man. Woozy. Yeah, absolutely. You're the man too, Deshaun. Thank you so much. Anybody who's interested in some quality entertainment, storytelling from the indies out here in Southern California. Of course, myself, I'm there along with the likes of Paul London, the legend himself, former WWE superstar, who is our current Compton Mania World Heavyweight Champion. Go over and check out their channel, Compton Mania on YouTube. Thank you very much, Jason. Much appreciated, my brother. Yeah. So, no, that's crazy, man. I to break up marriages and things like that, that's awful. No, that's something sacred. You don't do that. Absolutely.
It was always one of those, hey, you can't date within NXT, but it was always expected. I always kept my personal life outside of it. And it was always one of those, hey, so what are you up to? None of your business.
Yeah.
It was not like my personal life is not my work life.
Right.
Right. So, but it hasn't changed.
Yeah,
it hasn't. That's the way it was with us.
From what you just said, it clearly hasn't, because I've seen people get destroyed because they started dating. Oh, they don't like you. This one's more over. See ya.
And one of the big things was if you have a wife or a girlfriend and you bring her into wrestling, right? For lack of a better word,
they're getting hit on in 2 seconds.
Then you don't have a wife or girlfriend anymore.
That's terrible. A channel member, of course, he gave us a super chat earlier for Archie Lee again. He says, I have to say this. WCW had the checkbook to make stars, but too many ego hurt the better ideas. Paul Roma should be at the top of the list. If they would have valued the TV title, I will always say this. So, again, I think he thinks you should have been the TV champion, and you should have been at the top of their list. I would agree.
Listen, I really appreciate that. I mean, that touches me. It really does. Mm-hmm. You just, no matter how much money you have, you can't pay to get rid of ignorance, I guess.
No.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
you know what I mean?
It's true, man. WCW, going back there, because every time we talk about the past, man, that's when the good stuff happened, man. WCW really did have it all, did they not, Paul? They had every star they could ever dream of having. They had the money.
And what they really had was they were unique. So everybody that came in, the Harley Race, the Mr. Fuji, Mr. Perfect, you name it, Hogan, Warrior, everybody was unique to themselves, right? They're all different. And it was great that everybody wanted to go. And it wasn't the main event. It was the supporting cast that everybody wanted to see that built it up to the last match. Right? I mean, that's really the way that it was. And now they're cookie cutting all these wrestlers to make them what they want to make them. They give them a script to cut a promo for what they want them to say. So why bother bringing in these different wrestlers if you're only going to make them all the same? Sure, this one's black, this one's white, this one's yellow, this one's red, this one, so what? So who cares?
Yeah,
This one's got a great body, this one's fat, this one's skinny, but they're not unique anymore because you're making them what you want to make them.
And to that point, it was like, I never used to tune into wrestling to be like, oh, who's shredded? Who looks like, and again, I got, not to, I'm not trying to talk about myself. Like, I've always been a fat kid. I've got in shape for TV, like just shredded but as a kid, I never got into it and go, oh, well, I can't like that one because, he's not shredded. And I feel that now it's like they put such an emphasis on guys that are in shape. And there's no difference, like the world wrestling. So surely the world means people are different shapes and sizes. Like,
yeah. I mean, look, it takes everyone, right? When you look at a football team, you got these guys that are 300 pounds, right?
Like the defensive linemen are like just blocks. Like,
that's what makes the team. But when you're watching wrestling, because the guys are 3/4 naked out there, right, for the most part, they have to relate to everybody. If everybody's a bodybuilder, nobody's really going to want to go see it because they can't look like that. But when you get, like in our era, you got, again, and I'm not knocking these guys by any stretch of the imagination.
No,
but you got the Nasty Boys, you got King Kong Bundy, you got Earthquake, right? And then on the other side, you got the Warrior, you got Hercules, you got myself, and then you have the other guys who are Mr. Perfect, who's the in-between.
Right.
He's got a good body, but he's not overly muscular, right?
Right.
And he's not fat by any stretch of the imagination.
No, he's not fat. Shape. But when you look at him in terms of muscle size nowadays, you're like, oh my God, he was.
Oh yeah, he's bigger than the guys today, for sure.
You look at him now, and you're like, wow.
We appealed to everybody, Martin.
To your time period, you guys were larger than life.
To everybody, though, you could go in. Look, it's like going into a liquor store, right? Let's just say you like beer. So you go into a liquor store and they have 100 different kinds of beers. You get your variety. So you're going to go back to that store because you may feel like, I don't know, orange beer that day, or you may feel like lemon beer that day. And you have that option of making that choice. But when you limit the guy and you walk into the store and go, hey, where's your beer? Oh, it's right over there on the shelf. And you walk over and they got
on the right.
They got light beer and they got, I don't know, whatever normal beer is because I don't drink, but and that's it. I get 2 beers to choose. You're not going back to that store.
Yeah.
You want variety. And that's what Vince gave everybody back in our time. He gave them variety. You want to like a fat guy, you like a fat guy. You want to like a guy that's jacked, you like the guy that's jacked. You want the normal guy, you can like him. I mean, you got bruisers and you got all these different characters. The Blue Blazer, that's what you like. You got Coco Beware with a bird. You like him, you like him. Where is that now?
That's the thing they're missing right there, Paul, is they don't
just to throw this out there right now.
Yeah.
The fact that you look the way you did, and everyone can say, "Oh, he just jabbed 22 needles in his butt cheek." I know what it takes to get into that, and to be able to maintain the physique you did on the schedule you did.
Yeah,
Props
that's a
to
different.
you.
I appreciate that.
Props to you,
Listen,
because
let me
it's
tell you.
not as easy as just, oh, here's 500 mgs of test.
Hey, listen,
Okay, I'm good.
try
not
eating,
that easy.
Try
It's
eating
not
healthy
that
on the
easy.
road.
Right,
Try
exactly.
eating healthy on the road. Try that one
Yeah.
for a while.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So just to maintain what you did and look how you did, that is a huge testament to you.
You get out of the arena and the restaurants are all closed and you're starving.
Yeah.
Try figuring out what you're going to eat.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah.
Gentlemen, we got a question here from Matt. This is from our French contingent. Bonsoir, Mathieu. Comment ça va? Salut, masters. See, this is what I'm talking about, Paul. You see this? He addresses us as masters. Fantastic. I loved watching your most recent video, CM Punk Secrets Revealed. Yes, that was the one Martin and I shot in our members only section. I have a question for Martin. What was it like experiencing NXT War Games in 2020? In my opinion, one of the best War Games right there. What was it like, Martin?
Oh, Matt Bannister. That was my first ever chance of main eventing a pay-per-view. It may not have been circuit pay-per-view, but it was the first time I'd ever been put in a position to be a part of the main event of a NXT show, WWE show, whatever you want to call it, which was the most humbling experience of my life. And for me to, I'm just a kid from England. I never got into this to travel the world, to be here right now in America chatting to you guys. I was very fortunate. I was very lucky, and it was an absolutely amazing experience that I got to be in that match, because I've seen so many War Games matches when I was a fan, and it was one of those matches I always wanted to be in. So to be able to do that and, bust out a cricket bat and break it over Kyle's back and just, have those moments where people are going to remember that, because you're literally talking about it now.
You're living the dream.
Some more. I'm so humbled. So thank you so much.
You're living the dream.
Yeah.
Indeed. We got another one from Archie Lee. Archie, thank you so much for being a supporter of our channel. You are what helped fuel the rockets that are the Masters of Wrestling here in Power and Glory today. So he says, the same creator of the cookie cutter wrestler also maintained this idea of no valets or managers. Bringing this back can rid of writers. I'm not sure what he meant by the end there. But yeah, you're right. No valets and managers. Paul, what the heck is the deal with that? You notice they've been getting rid of managers and valets?
Listen, I can honestly say, though, in defense of them, for the most part, and I'm talking about now, the managers now or the valets now, they're useless. They're tits on a bull. Yeah.
They don't really engage in the story. They're just there.
No, well, and they don't know how to engage in the story.
Right.
That's the problem. They want to get recognized. It's not for them to get recognized, for them to watch their person, the match, and know when, to insert yourself, not constantly throughout the match. So,
like Bobby Heenan. Like Bobby Heenan.
Yeah, like Heenan, it's a catch-22. Like Fuji, you didn't see them doing all this stuff. They knew just when to do it, when to insert themselves. So I don't think these people know what that time is. And I've seen it on the independent circuit. They try to steal the whole show from the wrestling match.
Yeah. Should I address this question? Oui, je parle français, mais je suis pas canadien. Je parle français de la France, en fait. Alors, just answering a question there in French for our French contingent, because we are international. We're an international flavor here. We're British, we're French, we're American, we're
English.
class act.
We're Paul Roma. There we go. Yeah.
We're Paul Roma.
Yeah, the Paul Roma. This is, we're a little bit of everything here. But, yeah, man, I mean, I think that, coming back to the variety of characters, I think that's another key that, to me, I don't know. When we talk about the old days, not the old days, I call them the best days, when business was done right. If you do look at it the way we're looking at it now, especially since all the what they're doing with Unreal, it does really look like they're trying to just finish up the product. To me, that's what it looks like, Paul, now. It looks like they're done with it. Like you said, Paul, the people at the top are going to cash out as billionaires. So we're talking about my Uncle Paul. We're talking about Shawn Michaels. We're talking about The Undertaker, Bruce Pritchard. All these guys are going to cash out as
Vince McMahon.
Vince McMahon, multi-million, some billionaires. Yeah. And they don't care. That's it.
No. Well, look, I'm going to cash out now.
Okay.
I'm going to tell everybody that I want to thank everybody. I hope they hit the subscribe button. They've been great. Martin, it's a blessing having you on their show. Mm-hmm. A blessing.
Thank you, sir.
But
I really appreciate it.
I'm traveling, so I got to get traveling again. But thank you so much, man. You got to come back on, dude. You just got to,
Sir, I would love to come on and talk the job with you for the next 20 hours. I would pick your brain.
Beautiful.
And try and
entertain everyone.
Try for a scrum of your talent. So I really appreciate you, sir.
You're too kind. You're too kind. But yeah, man, listen, let's let the people hear it. Let's get it together again.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Paul, thank you for taking a little bit of your time with us this week, coming back on Power and Glory. Paul will be back. We're going to be shooting some pre-recorded segments of Power and Glory, myself, Mario Mancini, and Paul. Martin and I will continue for a little bit longer, so the stream will continue. But, Paul, I'll touch base with you, and we'll figure out some episodes. All right? But thank you, sir, for stopping by.
God bless everybody. Thank you, guys.
Travel safe, and God bless.
Yes, sir.
Thank you so much.
God bless you, Paul. We'll see you on the next one, my brother. All right.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye. What an amazing conversation there with the man himself, a legend, former WWE and WCW superstar Paul Roma. The man is fantastic. So pearls of wisdom to the extreme there, Martin.
What an absolute gent. I am. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's true. But coming back to the Warrior thing, because I know we touched on that and we briefly moved away from it. I do think it's a case of like you said, sometimes, when you go in as a professional, I know you are, I am, when we go there to serve the people and the promoter, right?
Yeah.
That's it. We're not going in there to.
No, okay. Is the promoter happy? Are the fans happy? All I care about.
That's it. Exactly.
And that's how I work to this day. Is the promoter happy? Are the fans happy? That's all I care about.
That's all that matters. And I think some of the wrestlers who go in, not all of them, again, but they are still out there. They were probably more prevalent back in the 80s. They go in there just to hang out and party and try and impress each other. That, to me, that's not.
Here's my thing. I would rather the guys that come in on the indies that are just looking for a good time, but they are there to entertain the crowd and give them their money's worth.
Yeah.
I would rather those guys that are just going to turn up, do their job. All right, I'm going to go get drunk. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. I would rather those guys than the ones that turn up and go, well, I have to put this spot in there because I'm trying to get a 3-star rating.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The guys that are just there for I want to have a good time end up being the ones that just treat the business better than the ones that are the video gamers and I got to get my shit in.
True, very true. There are two different breeds, like you said. There are
and again,
there are the professionals,
it's really
and they're
difficult right now because I'm in that kind of mid position where I see both sides. I've seen guys come in trashed. Oh, brother, we gotta do, and then I've seen them zip up, and I've seen them go out there and have an amazing match.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've also seen the guys that are, I have to plan this and this and this and this and this and this and this. And they work some guy and they go out there and they pull it off and the crowd are up. So I can't fault them. I can't fault this one. I can't fault that one.
Yeah.
So my whole thing is, how do we get this middle ground of making wrestling amazing again, where we take, again, like Bruce Lee's martial arts philosophy, absorb what is useful, reject what is useless, add what is essentially your own. So how do we take bits and bobs from everything and then make wrestling great again? The first thing is characters.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean,
everything after that is secondary, but
right.
Just like, you see what I'm saying?
Character, and you need to also
you have to have a hook.
Yeah, like, you've got to have a hook.
I would never have loved wrestling if it wasn't for Austin doing his thing, but everyone goes, "Well, he just came out and flipped the bird." No, he was way more than that.
Well, we know our dear buddy Vince Russo. He does it perfectly. He understands business. He understands TV. But more than just understanding TV, it's understanding the entertainment business. Mm-hmm. Wrestling is not a sport. It is an entertainment, period. And I think that's where the lines have been blurred. And wrestlers, and I would even dare to say this, Martin, some wrestlers take themselves too seriously.
Oh,
way too seriously.
Even sports entertainers have taken themselves too seriously.
Yes.
Goldberg, just throwing that out there from my interactions with Bill. So yeah.
Because again, this is what I'm going to make the analogy here. If I'm going to go and compete in the Olympics, right? If I'm literally vying for a title, a gold cup or whatever it is, if it's soccer, right? Soccer is not predetermined. Right.
No,
if I'm Tottenham Hotspur versus West Ham or whatever, right? They're going in there with the game face on. Now they can't afford to slip up. They can't afford any mistakes, and they can't afford to take their eye off the ball. Right. Okay. Now different again, not similarity, differently in a different world. Now you're talking about entertainers. We've seen how movies are made sometimes, and then someone will read a line and then they'll improv it in a different way, and the director will say to them, "Oh, actually, I prefer it the way you just said it right now, rather than what you said before." Martin, are you still there? Can you hear me? You're frozen. Can you hear me?
Silly. Yeah.
So
I'm silly. Hey.
Okay.
Hey. Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. So there's beauty sometimes in mistakes, and we've seen it in film. We've seen it with improvisation. So what I mean is, again, because it's not a sport, you can improvise and you can find some great nuggets there by mistake. And I think if you go in too serious and too stuck to a script, too married to something, it could actually jeopardize the magic that could be discovered if you just cut loose a little bit and relax. And again,
100%.
That's what I'm saying. I think there needs to be a little bit more lax.
You literally could write a script out and give it to 5 different people. Hey, learn that.
Yeah.
Memorize it. Come back to me. You are going to get 5 different variations of that script.
Right.
Some's going to be great. Some's going to be awesome. Some's going to be bad. Some's going to be medium. But no one person is going to interpret words or wisdom or whatever. They're not going to interpret it the same.
Right.
They're not going to. So it's always going to be different. And that's the magic of pro wrestling, and that's what's being stifled.
And also, it's your character that drives your work. I want to say this right now. Okay. So your character. So this is why character work is important. If you're not a character, if I don't know who I am going into that match, I'm not going to know how I fight. Okay. Yeah. Because if let's just use the Ultimate Warrior for an example, the Warrior fought as his character was depicted. He was an Ultimate Warrior with electricity flowing through him. So he was explosive. He didn't do moves or anything like that. Because Undertaker, a dead man, very slow, very methodical, right? This is what made wrestling popular, because the guys were wrestling different styles to match who they were. So now if Finn Balor gets in the ring with AJ Styles, I'm seeing 2 guys who wrestle exactly the same.
There's no character arc. Yeah.
That's it. So what they need to, like you said, number one is develop a character. And then number two, you'll figure out how to wrestle. Maybe your character doesn't do every move under the sun. Maybe your character does not even do moves. Maybe he just punches and kicks. Maybe maybe he does the Hurricane Radas. Maybe he does. It depends on what your character is, right?
It's tough nowadays because everybody can do everything. But that's not like just because you can doesn't mean you need to. Like, I hate this because I've spoken to a lot of guys that I've worked and they're like, "Oh, I just thought you were being lazy because you didn't want to do anything." And I'm like, there's so much more to this than just like. Oh.
Do these guys, Martin? Do these guys actually? Are they real studiers of the game of profession? Not my Uncle Paul's game. Our game, the Masters of Wrestling. Do they study the past? Do they know where they came from?
Out of every 5 guys I work, it will click with 2.
Okay. So about not even a half of everybody.
Again, I was chatting to a guy today. You know what? I'm going to give him a shout out. Rampage Santana. He is a really good guy. Okay. Student of the game. Constantly messaging
my Uncle Paul's game?
No.
Okay, good.
No, he's like, he can do all that great stuff.
Yeah.
But he always says to me, how do I make my stuff look like you did when I worked you? So he's trying to learn. He's a great kid, really, really great kid. Sent him some stuff this morning, like, hey, check this, check that. He's a sponge.
Okay.
That's the guys that are going to move the business forward because they're going to be a blend. They're going to be a blend of this, whatever is going on TV, and then finding the character. And I said to him, I said, brother, right now, you don't need to work on any in-ring stuff. You need to work on a character. Yeah. And he goes, yeah, so I'm thinking Chris Rock, Rick James, Michael Jackson, and then I'm going to try and do stuff. So he's already ahead of the curve. Like, I need a character. I need to do this. Like, he's already thinking that.
Good. I'm glad.
That's what the younger generation need right now.
Yeah, they need to. They got to stop watching what's happened in the last 10 years. You need to go back 20, 25 years. You need to see what actually brought it to where it's at today.
He said, well, I watch the stuff now and it's boring. Like, I can do all of it. And he is gifted athletically. There's nothing he can't do. And then it was funny when I worked him, he goes, well, I can do this and this and this. I said, right, well, you've just given me 20 things. Pick one.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's like, I guess this guy's trying to be lazy. And then he presented it to his trainer. Like the match, I'm not going to say who his trainer is, but his trainer is amazing. He presented the match and he's like, oh, wow, that's the best match you've ever had. I'm like,
good stuff, man. Hey, I got to give a shout out to one of our loyal channel members. And of course, you can become a channel member for just $4.99 a month. It's the price of a cup of coffee. Are you going to drink the cup of coffee and you know where it's going to come out on the other end? Or are you going to put that $4.99 that you could have put into Starbucks, into us, into the Masters of Wrestling? And you become a loyal channel member. You'll get a free shout out, free question, every live stream. Not to mention, you will see our uncensored, unfiltered videos. In fact, Martin, you and I are going to be doing some pre-recorded segments tomorrow. And we're going to have another very, I don't want to say salacious, but very uncensored conversation about something to take place in pro wrestling, and that's going to be in our members section only. So don't wait. Hit the join button. That's why it's there. And we got about another 25 minutes left here. So if you want to ask us a question, if you want to jump into the conversation, if you want to give us a super thanks, hit the super chats and do that. So anyway, Lee Tent 2316. I want to give a shout out to Lee. He did become a channel member, but unfortunately, because of the times we go on live, he can't always make it here. So he did have a request for me. He said instead of asking a question, he wants us to cut a short heel promo on his buddy Terry Moon. So okay, Terry Moon. I guess this guy Terry Moon's been giving him some issues. But what you got to remember, Lee, is the moon, and he comes out at night. During the day, it's totally eclipsed by the sun. And once the sun comes out, the shadows lurk back into from whence they came. So this little jabroni here, this Mr. What's his name again? Terry Moon. We'll just push him right back into the shadows, won't we? There you go. Right there. That's what we say to Terry Moon right there for you.
And worst case, I can come fix a problem if it persists.
Yeah, but I tell you what, Terry Moon, you're walking that fine razor's edge, pal. So again, if I were you, I'd just stick to the night shift and hide yourself during the day, because here at the Masters of Wrestling, you keep pissing off Lee Tant, and we'll keep heel promoing you every single week, buddy. All right, okay. We hope that helps, Lee. I hope you see this and you enjoy that.
Top man, Lee. Appreciate it.
Yeah. So interesting though. Interesting about this whole thing. I think that's the key. That's really the key that makes wrestling move, Martin. I think we really, really found that nugget today. That's it. It's every match looks the same. Why? Not just because all the matches are trying to be choreographed in the same way. It's because the wrestlers are wrestling the same. No one is using a style in accompaniment of their character. Look at Jake the Snake. How did Jake wrestle? Like a snake. Slithery. Cheap shots.
Yes. He took his time. It was slow. It was methodical. But again, that's down to Jake being amazing. It's just
look at Jake. Look at Warrior. Look at even Honky Tonk Man. He wrestled like a Honky Tonk Man. He really did. He wrestled as if he was the Honky Tonk Man. Legion of Doom.
Greatest Intercontinental Champion of all time. Yeah.
Look at Mr. Perfect. He was crisp, fluid. He looked like he just literally floated through the air. Perfect, right? So again, this is what made these characters genius. Everybody, if there are any,
go down to everything so heavily scripted. Like, oh, you got to say this, you got to do this, you got to act this way. Like, just for me, like when I was in NXT, it was kind of like that. Oh, hey, say this. Like, well, I wouldn't say that. Well, yeah, but just say that, and then we can feed off. No.
Hey, don't you have a story? Don't you have a story for us? In fact, you know this man. I have no love lost for this man. You and I talked about him the other day. The man who's now been relegated for looking for new talent in the WWE. Didn't he try and write you a promo at one time? The man who's never been in the ring. The man who's never been in the ring in his life.
Made a lot of cups of coffee and tea for Paul Heyman. Yes, sir.
Yeah, what is his name? Gabe Kapowski. The man who's apparently revered by so many, but yet, go ahead. Tell the world.
So, Gabe came up with the creation of Evolve Wrestling, which
failed, right?
No, it didn't fail.
It will.
Hang on. Just let me get the backstory out first, right?
Okay.
So Gabe gave a lot of guys an opportunity with Evolve Wrestling. And it came about because Bryan Danielson, the American Dragon, one of the greatest professional pure wrestlers of all time.
Purist. Purist. Not sports entertainer, purist.
He was also one of the greatest characters in wrestling as well.
Martin, please. I will
beat this to a dead horse. He got people in as a heel when he turned the WWE title vegan. No, I'm not talking about
it wasn't interesting.
I'm talking about
not that one. Yes,
heel run when he brought everyone in and he hooked a lot of people. Okay, Brian is very smart.
That's true. When he had Big Cass with him, or he was doing a feud or something with him, was that around that time?
He never had Big Cass with him, but
it was a feud or something, I think.
It was one or two matches, but just at that point, Brian had the vegan title, or the homeopathic title, whatever it was called. He had people hooked in. It was amazing. It really was. Okay. Anyway,
I'll let that pass, Martin. I will let that pass.
Okay, let that pass because Brian's special. Okay. Anyway, so Brian coined the term, pro wrestling's evolving. because Brian was on the first show. So
Okay.
Gabe's like, "Oh, we're going to be called Evolve," and it became exactly the same thing he did in Ring of Honor, which is fine. There's a niche market for that.
That's the thing. He didn't understand. He was now in mainstream, and he was still trying to book niche. Big problem.
At this point in time, he wasn't mainstream. He was still
he wasn't
niche.
yet? Okay.
Not yet. No, he was still niche.
Okay.
So then it was, we got to have guys wrestle each other and just, okay, there's a certain amount of people that are going to come to watch that, and then there's not. Cut a long story short, Evolve became the feeder territory for WWE and NXT, and Gabe would dangle that above people's heads, tell him that he knew better and this is what you need to do and blah, blah, blah. Fast forward, Gabe Sapolsky became a writer and consultant for NXT.
A writer, did you say? A writer.
Yes.
This man, has he ever written anything in his life? Was he in TV?
He might have written a cash receipt out for a fucking cup of coffee, but anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Excuse my language. Anyway, so this particular day, fans might remember this. It was when myself and Oni were supposed to be hypnotized by Cross's girlfriend at the time on screen, Scarlett, and seduced and this and that and blah, blah, blah. And the shit that I looked at when he said, okay, say this before it. And this is a American man, older American man.
Yeah.
Maybe, late 40s, mid 50s.
Yeah.
Trying to script how a British man would talk.
Okay.
I was highly insulted. So I literally looked at it, I'm reading it, and I was like, okay, cool. I completely said everything else that was different. Because you have no idea who I am. You have no idea where I'm from. You have no idea how I talk or speak. But I guess because, can I get a cup of tea, governor? I guess that's what WWE think is possible.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe that's down to Mr. Regal phoning it in and just, this is what we're going to do. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, we got a little question here. Someone, why do I look like a young Triple H? Because he is my Uncle Paul. I have addressed this numerous times before, but that is my Uncle Paul. Speaking of my Uncle Paul, of course, we did that thing on TNA last week where I was talking about TNA, and some of the people in the comments said some very nice, flattering things about my appearance there. But I wanted to clear it up because I was there. I was working for Tricky Williams at the time. It was very, very nice man to me, but I was sent there by Uncle Paul. I was sent there specifically because obviously he was part of NXT and, he was appearing on a TNA show, and Uncle Paul wanted to make sure that, he was worth the money he was being paid and wanted to make sure he was protected. Well, that's why I was there anyway. So just to clear that up, that's exactly why I was there, to keep an eye on Tricky Dickie Williams. But at the end of the day, subsequently since then, Uncle Paul and I,
speaking of Tricky Dickie, did you see his complete massive fumble on SmackDown with Randy Orton?
I did not see that. No, I did not see that.
So he's standing there, George acting back and forth. Randy Orton pulls the mic down. He hits it out of his hand, and the microphone smacks a fan in the face. Ooh. And he physically sits there and goes, "Oh, fuck."
Oh, no. He said that on the air?
That piece of crap should not be in wrestling. He is not a wrestler. He is not a wrestler.
Well, like I said, you said, again, the experience I had with Trick
man that can break a collarbone on an arm wringer. Yes, wrestling fans, students, figure that one out. Any person that can do that, you need to just be gone.
Like I said, it's weird because, like I said, the one person, a lot of the many new guys that I really appreciated was Trick. He was very kind and courteous to me, the experience when I was working with him.
He's not a good guy. I'm saying the minute the bell rings, run.
So you're saying he's got a little bit.
That's the problem with so many people nowadays. They have the presentation, the aura, they have everything like that. The fans go wild. Oh, he's aura maxing. Ding, ding, ding. And that's the problem with WWE right now.
Do you think it could be the case of this? Because, like I said, when I saw Trick there, I had a couple of words with him backstage, and I did tell him, I said, yeah, you know what? Yeah, there's a lot of people here, they're going to give you a lot of big ovation and stuff like that. So just, keep your feet on the ground kind of thing. I was telling him, hey, because he was very pumped up, right? So, but do you think that it could be a case of when that bell rings, some guys get overzealous? Like we talked about, it's about becoming understanding you're there to do a job. It's business, period. Number one, it's business, right? So when you get in that ring, don't overexert to the point where you're just trying to show off. Do you think that's what it could be? A lot of guys try and show off, and then they get into these spots where they cause injury.
Okay, so my thing is, in developmental, depending on who the talent is that's not a wrestler, certain coaches and staff are going to tell them, you need to do this, 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 and this, regardless of what's going on in the match.
Mm-hmm.
They'll be pulled aside because you got to get over, you got to do this, and you got to do that. And it's a shit show. That system is the most flawed, broken training system in the world.
Right. Yeah.
Because there's no continuity. You have the greatest trainers there. Mm-hmm. Finlay, Steve Corino, Norman Smiley, Terry Taylor. You have the greatest trainers there.
Yeah.
But it's not, hey, you're going to spend 6 months with him. Then you're going to move here. But then we're going to try and mold what you've learned there into what you're being taught here. So it's you move to the next class, you do the, oh, no, that's not right. You got to relearn it. Oh, okay. You go to the next class. No, that's not right. You got to relearn it.
Martin,
well, why am I just learning,
Martin, speaking of classes, one of our viewers here asked me what days, times is your weekly classes. Okay, if you want to sign up for our weekly character development classes on Zoom for just $50 a week, you need to email us at themastersofwrestlingpodcast@gmail.com. Again, themastersofwrestlingpodcast@gmail.com. If you're interested, or leave a comment, leave an email address, and we'll get in contact with you, and we'll schedule that with you. We'll schedule how many classes you want to do. Do you want to come twice a month? Do you want to come once a week for the character development classes? But we're going to have special guests. I'm going to be leading the class. Martin's going to be there. We're going to have other guest character development individuals with us who work in and around or have been in professional wrestling. So you may want to sign up for that. So again, Zappy Puppy right there is one of the comments right there. If you want to be involved in the classes, again, email us at themastersofwrestlingpodcast@gmail.com or leave a comment in the description of this video with your email address. We will get in contact with you, and we will schedule that with you. Also, if you haven't already done so, if you're watching this video and you have not hit that subscribe button, make sure you do that right now and become a master of pro wrestling. That's why we're here. We go live every Tuesday, every Thursday. We got special guests coming up. We got shows. We got our members only section. So we want you to join and become a member. It's just $4.99 a month, price of a cup of coffee. You'll get exclusives there. You'll get a free question every single live stream. You'll get a shout out every single live stream if you pop up in the chat. So what are you waiting for? Go ahead and do it. There's a reason they call us the Masters of Wrestling. We want to entertain you. We want to bring professional wrestling into the podcast realm. So this is the most entertaining, most energized, most fact-filled wrestling podcast you're going to find in the entire world. I think I said it all, did I not, Martin?
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, you did.
Yeah.
Everything.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. With an exclamation point at the end of it. Martin, do we have any other tidbits of news? Anything else that's come up recently? Anything that maybe you've heard about that has not come out?
The only thing I heard recently, which kind of sparked just kind of like, wow, you'd say that. So Booker T openly turned around and said about Josh Briggs, he was like, "Yeah, dog, you're gonna get fired if you don't do anything."
He told him that on air?
On commentary. "Oh man, he gonna get fired if he don't do nothing." And I'm like, well, okay. There's only so much a talent can present himself to the writers.
Yeah.
There's only so much he can go, this is what I want to do. I want to do this. I want to do that, blah, blah. It comes to a point where the only thing as a performer we can control is what we do in ring.
Yeah.
The person behind the back, like, you know, backstage with a pencil and like, here's the picture. Here's the guy. There's only so much you can, whatever, like, be it. You know, I guess you got to start playing politics. I guess you got to start asking what they had for breakfast or how their day was or whatever it is. But just Booker T was open and was like, yeah, Josh Briggs is going to get fired unless he doesn't do anything. And I'm like, dude, you can't say that.
No, that's a conversation you have behind closed doors.
But not even that. It's like that's out of his hands. He can only perform and do what he's told to do, because anyone can turn up and go, I want to do this. That's not what you're written in for.
There's too much way overexposure going on in WWE right now. And you know what I will say, Martin? I will say this. You know, I don't have much of a love. There's no love lost for AEW for me. Because again, I made it clear, ladies and gentlemen, I'm into sports entertainment. I'm not a wrestling purist. I'm not into New Japan. I'm a sports entertainment guy. All right. So AEW, no love lost. But the one thing that I do appreciate with AEW is they're not exposing the business at every turn they got. They're not doing Unreal. Booker T's not talking about people getting fired out there on TV. They're not, well, I don't know. I mean, I don't follow them on social media. I presume they're not doing selfies, the two guys that are having a feud. I doubt MJF is taking pictures with Brody King, right?
Booker T falling asleep and doing that. So, you know.
I'm not surprised you fell asleep. Have you watched WWE lately or NXT?
No, I haven't.
Right.
I haven't watched that for maybe 2 years before I got let go. I couldn't watch it anymore.
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here because we want to see wrestling thrive and succeed. There are many great companies out there. There are many great companies out there. There are many great wrestlers on the rise, and we're just here to try and ignite that fuel, that passion.
And students, make no mistake about it. We don't come at pro wrestling from a vantage point of negativity and that we know best. We come from the point of the glory days,
right?
When wrestling was amazing. You know, for me, it was the old school stuff, then going into the Attitude Era, when wrestling was at its peak, when I became a fan, when I couldn't help but want to tune in every week. That's what we want wrestling to be again. Yeah.
And also, if you haven't already, we encourage you to check out JCW. JCW is a fantastic product. You know, Vince Russo has worked miracles in there already. Increased the viewership, Martin, by 500% in 10 weeks.
I mean, that's
500%, right? Whereas TNA lost 2,000 viewers this week, and they couldn't even crack 200,000. Couldn't even crack 200 worldwide.
AMC, but you know, second, as they've been quoted as saying on a podcast, we are the second largest wrestling company in the world.
The second largest company in the world.
No, you're not. Yeah.
No, absolutely not. I think it's propaganda, hype machine getting behind it.
Yeah.
But yeah, if you want sports entertainment, thank God, thankfully for us here in the wrestling fandom here, sports entertainment, JCW has emerged. So there is a tremendous hope now.
It's funny, to your point of saying sports and entertainment, right? When I got into wrestling, especially during the Attitude Era, I never said, oh, this is sports entertainment.
No. It was wrestling. Like,
oh, man, this is wrestling. Fuck yeah. Fuck yeah.
But that's what it was. But it was the whole
pro
package.
Wrestling. That's it. It's pro wrestling.
But the thing is, Martin, because you and I think we're the first to talk about it on our channel. In fact, nobody else, no other podcast has ever done it. We're the first to address it. I believe so. Again, I may be wrong, but from what I've seen, we're the first to start making the distinction. Like you said, back in the day, it was all pro wrestling because it was across the board.
Yeah.
It was across the board. But now, since the lines have been blurred, since AEW has become New Japan in the United States, since the WWE has become.
I think it's AEW that's blurred the line. I just think it's that WWE have the monopoly, so they're just like, we're just going to do whatever we want.
Yeah.
The last good thing that company did was the Bloodline at the start. Yeah. That was the last good thing they did because it was characters. It was entertaining. And then they cut that off way too early, and now it's just gone back to raw. Let's fight. For what reason? Doesn't matter.
Well, it's not that. Now it's now WWE, and I'll summarize it for you. It's UFC meets New Japan. That's exactly what it is. It's UFC meets New Japan. Yeah. That's it. So if you're looking for entertainment, that's not where you're going to find it, right? Like you said, our dear buddy Vince Russo said this, and this was the greatest takeaway I had from that tremendous interview he did.
I would love to have 10 minutes with him just to pick his brain. Give me.
The man understands TV. The man understands sports entertainment. Yeah.
He understands wrestling. He might say, "Well, I'm just a TV guy." No, you understand wrestling. At the heart of it, he understands wrestling.
Right. Here's the question to you viewers here as we bring this show, we've got about 4 or 5 minutes left. Why did Vince McMahon change the way wrestling was done in the late 70s and the early 80s? Why do you think Vince McMahon took match versus, guy versus guy, move, guy? Why do you think he took it away from that, basically out of the bingo halls and into the big spotlights of Madison Square? How do you think he accomplished that? Do you think he accomplished that by repeating the same formula? No, he sprinkled characters, entertainment, storylines, different fighting styles for different characters, vignettes, backstage promo. That's pro wrestling. That's sports entertainment. That's what people are craving. That's what they're being denied. But that's what Vince Russo has given them back. Right there, Martin.
Just now you've said that, I'm like, wow, territory days, 60-minute time limit draws, everything they were doing. Vince is like, can I make you Superman for 10 minutes? Okay, cool, come here.
Right.
Now you said that, I'm like, oh my.
Martin, not even 10 minutes. Look at Warrior. Come down to the ring, have an explosive match. People would tune in to watch a whole hour of superstars just to see the Warrior squash someone in 4 minutes or 3 minutes. Yeah. It didn't matter because it was the build, the anticipation. So that's what I'm saying, Martin. If you look at some of the current WWE and AEW stuff, it's reminiscent. It's gone back in time. It's gone back in time. It's the same. No one was interested in watching 20-minute matches anymore. No one was interested in watching an hour battle unless it meant something on a pay-per-view at the end of the year. No one cares. What they care about is characters. And Vince Russo brought up this amazing fact. If he looks at the stats, people literally, if the match starts going too long, they tune out. When the backstage vignettes comes in or the interview, they tune back in. Wow, what a surprise, because they want the soap opera.
I remember seeing something where Steve Austin and Kurt Angle, like arguably two of the greatest performers in pro wrestling, they had a 3-segment match at the start of Raw, and it was the lowest rated, watched thing that year. And I'm like, those guys can work. They're not. They are not the worst characters. Yep. Obviously, Austin was white hot. Kurt's amazing. But it just goes to show you. Click. No. Oh, we got clowns eating popcorn and jumping up and down on a post. Oh, hang on a minute. Let me just. It's pro wrestling. Just
pro wrestling.
Entertainment is pro wrestling.
Entertainment. So you want to be part of the solution. You want to be part of the future. You want to be the part that keeps wrestling alive, then you need to tune in. You need to watch Sports Entertainment, True Sports Entertainment.
Yeah.
We put our stamp of approval on JCW. We say all the way. We pray great things for that company. Expand and expand and expand, because that's true wrestling entertainment. That's what's going to pull in that lapse 15 million people that have just vanished who used to tune in to watch wrestling every Monday night in the 90s. That's what's going to put that is true pro wrestling. Again, you know, if your preference is going back to the 60s and the 70s and the dark arenas where the ring was only lit and the rest was smoke filled, and you're just watching a 30-minute arm drag contest, or, well, in this day and age, a 30-minute somersault contest, go ahead, be our guest.
Canadian Destroyer contest. Come on, let's come on.
Canadian Destroyer contest, what have you. Hey, if you haven't already subscribed, what are you waiting for? Don't be a coward. Step out of the shadows and into the spotlight and into the masters of wrestling. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. If you haven't already joined, again, price up a cup of coffee. Hit that join button, $4.99 a month. It'll give you a free shout-out, free question every live stream, and it will give you exclusive access to our members-only videos that will never, ever be made public. And again, we want to thank each and every one of you for tuning in. I want to give all glory to our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, Yeshua, for without him, I wouldn't even waste my time doing this. We're doing this for a purpose. We're doing this for a reason, and we hope to entertain each and every one of you and educate you and inspire you in doing all the things you want to do in your life. Martin, thank you so much for taking time to be with me today.
Thank you for having me, my good man.
Yep. And you and I will be back with our pre-recorded segments. They will be out later this week. Of course, tune in tomorrow morning. I got another hot Ultimate Warrior, the Ultimate Truth podcast coming out tomorrow. Another one coming out Saturday, and then members only. And then Martin and I have got several pre-recorded segments that are coming out later this week that you do not want to miss. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, students. And we will see you in the next episode right here on the Masters of Wrestling. God bless. Students, your time has come. I have decided that it's time to share some of my knowledge with you. That's right. Do you want to become a true, legendary professional wrestling character? Do you want to learn how to project your voice, to enunciate, to come up with the greatest promos that you possibly could? Then you need to join me each and every week for just $50. I am hosting a masterclass on Zoom. That's right. You don't have to travel. You can do it from the comfort of your own home. I will teach you how to become the greatest character you can be. I will help you discover who you truly are. I will help you with taglines, promos, etc., etc. Join me for just $50 a week in a masterclass of wrestling character development. There's a reason they call us the Masters of Wrestling.